My name is Richard Butt, and until about 3 hours' time, I will be the editor of Media in Isle of Man's newspapers and websites.
So as we were just saying, it's not quite been 15 years.
Not quite.
It's 14 years and 51 weeks.
That's right. I joined Isle of Man newspapers, as it was then, of course, we changed the name, on the 15th of September 2008, the day that the Lehman Brothers Bank collapsed and the whole world changed.
And you're not leaving the company. That's something we want to make clear. You're not leaving. You are taking another role. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I'm going to carry on in a title we're calling contributing editor. So I'll be hopefully supporting my successor and the whole team. But my day-to-day role will be looking after big commercial features. So the big specials we do, the What's On guide, the specials for health and well-being, for property, for business things. We are going to develop those areas of the business which are quite important to us and sort of outside the day-to-day run of the newspapers.
Yep. And what's been your highlight? It's been a long time. What's been your highlight?
It's really difficult to answer that question. I've learned so much during that time. We've changed things quite a lot. I suppose you just can't get over the pandemic and the fact we worked so hard and so long and so well, I think, in producing papers that will be looked at for the rest of history. You know, this was such a big thing. So the pandemic was good, and I think we did a lot of good coverage about that. We tried to reflect what was going on in the Isle of Man really well at that point. We all worked, obviously, in isolation to do that, but it was a really good job, I think, we did that. Other than that, I think probably the exclusive story that caused most interest was when we revealed that the Isle of Man government was buying the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company. That was one of Adrian Derbyshire's stories. Adrian was a fantastic journalist. Lots of investigative stuff he did too on the famous railway carriage didn't work, or rather the railway engine didn't work, on the brakes failures of the tram, the Louis Group, and all the financial things of that. So lots of different things on that we did too, which I think was really good. And then I suppose that one of the things I did, which probably doesn't make much of a mark on anybody else, was I turned the Examiner from a big broadsheet paper the size of a Telegraph to a tabloid paper, and I enjoyed doing that. It was a different way, and it certainly improved the Examiner's fortunes, circulation rose, and so on, and that was really good too.
You were a reporter before you were editor at Isle of Man newspapers. How much has the company changed since you started?
Well, when I was a reporter, I joined as a junior trainee reporter in 1989, and I left as a senior in 1994 when I went to Manchester, and I worked for the Manchester Evening News in various roles there for quite a long time. Then we had two weekly papers, the Isle of Man Courier and the Isle of Man Examiner. Obviously there was no website, we didn't have the Manx Independent. We employed a lot more people because it was a lot more labour intensive, especially on the advertising side, but also editorial too. The layouts weren't done on computers. They had to be laid out with glue and paper and things like that. It was really different. When I was a junior, one of my tasks was to go down to the bus station where Sue Woolley's packages of her copy sent from her place up in Macclesfield at the time arrived on the bus. So I then had to go down the bus station and bring this copy up to the to the office where that would be then set on pages. So for everyone who's used to copy and paste and email, etc., it's a very different world. I don't think it's that long ago, but it is, 35 years ago, and that was a real, eye-opener. People just don't believe that was the case.
Mm. And apart from your wonderful team you've obviously got other papers, what would you miss the most, would you say, as being editor?
Well, the team is very important, and I think as I've learned, actually, the working with the team is the important thing. Developing the team, working to make better newspapers and websites is really important. It's people. That is really important. So I will miss that. I will miss kind of the weekly routine. Every Tuesday is the same. Every Wednesday is the same. The whole week is the same on a weekly newspaper thing with 3 deadlines a week, plus the website non-stop too. I probably won't miss getting up and sorting the website out before 7 o'clock and all that sort of stuff. That will be okay. I think I will miss being part of the development of different products in that way. I'm sure I'll have some sort of smaller role in that, but really this is up to my successor now, Dion Jones, who will take over next week, and I'm sure he'll come in and have a look at things and probably want to change things around. Fine, that's his job now, and make the company look forward to the next, how many years? 200 years perhaps.
Yes. And finally, the last ever courier. How does it feel to be writing your last ever paper as a front page? We worked out you've done about 2,000, was it?
2,000? 2,500.
2,500 front pages.
Yeah, it's a lot of pages. 3 papers a week is a lot of papers. And it was sort of routine, but at the same time I did sort of think, oh, this is it then. The last paper I'll be putting together, the last paper, front page I'll be designing, the last time I have to sort of do all the sort of legal stuff and all that sort of thing. So that will be a different way of thinking and so on. So in my new role, I'll be contributing, I hope, a lot to the newspapers and giving the farming community a say and looking at business news and changing the way we do that, I think, make it more people orientated. So I'm looking forward to developing that side of things. I'm also looking forward not to have to line manage people, not to have to answer lawyers' letters, not to have to be on the board anymore, that sort of thing. So it'll be hopefully a less stressful life.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much.